Blizzard's recently publicized sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuit filed by the state of California is just one of the latest in a long string of controversies. Between massive layoffs, numerous reports on its toxic workplace, and highly anticipated launches reportedly sabotaged by mismanagement, the last few years have dramatically altered the perception of what used to be PC gaming's darling developer.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Would you happen to work for Activision Blizzard?
Yeah, I do. I'm their newest employee.
To really emphasize on how bad things have been for them, just in 1 week alone in 2021, Blizzard was hit with 3 major events. Number 1, word got out that the SEC was investigating Activision Blizzard over its workplace practices, and Bobby Kotick himself has been subpoenaed. Number 2, Blizzard's chief legal officer, Hart, resigned as the company faced a growing collection of lawsuits. And number 3, Overwatch's 2 executive producer, Chacko Sonny, left Blizzard, quote, for some time off, according to the company. The fact is, Blizzard has been hit both the hardest by these allegations, having lost not just many core members over the years, but many in the very recent past as a result of these investigations.
I'm sorry to say that all your material possessions are now forfeit. A big lawsuit has been leveraged against you for being a gross, sick pervert.
No,
I will start by taking all your possessions, including your family, your room back away.
Including the director of the most important game project, Diablo 4. On top of that, it's not like Blizzard was doing so amazingly well before all this anyway. We are at a point between Blizzard's declines and departures over the years. The recent scandals and investigations, and the state of the largest future projects make people wonder what their future holds, or even if there is a future at all. It's wild to think that Blizzard could be potentially shut down or sold off, and yet, the way things are trending, it also doesn't seem impossible. Activision continues to find an endless amount of success with Call of Duty, and King has never had an issue making money on mobile. So the main question we will try to answer today is, can Blizzard survive all this and continue to exist together with Activision and King? Is there a brighter future for Blizzard? Blizzard Entertainment was founded by Michael Morhaime, Alan Adham, and Frank Pierce as Silicon and Synapse in February of 1991. During the first 2 years, the company focused on creating game ports for other studios. Around 1993, co-founder Adam told the other executives that he did not like the name Silicon and Synapse anymore, as people outside the company were confusing the meaning of silicon, the chemical element, with silicone. You know, those materials that they use in breast implants. By the end of 1993, Adam changed the name to Chaos Studios instead, but that name didn't last for very long. In early 1994, they were acquired by distributor Davidson & Associates for $6.75 million. Shortly after this point, they were contacted by a Florida company, Chaos Technologies, who wanted the company to pay $100,000 to keep the name. Not wanting to pay that sum of money, obviously, the executives decided to change the studio's name to Ogre Studios as of April 1994. However, Davidson & Associates did not like this name and forced the company to change it once again. One of the first words they found to be interesting enough to be in their name and clear the legal check was Blizzard, leading them to change their name to Blizzard Entertainment by May 1994. Shortly thereafter, Blizzard Entertainment shipped their breakthrough hit, Warcraft Orcs and Humans, a real-time strategy game in a high fantasy setting. Since then, Blizzard has been through a number of acquisitions. In 1998, Blizzard was sold to French publisher Havas. That same year, Havas was purchased by Vivendi. Blizzard at this point had about 200 employees. In 1996, Blizzard Entertainment acquired Condor Games, which had been working on the action role-playing game Diablo for Blizzard at the time. Diablo was released at the very start of 1997 along Battle.net, a matchmaking service for the game. Blizzard continued to build up its repertoire of games in the following years with Diablo 2, Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness, and of course StarCraft. Blizzard Entertainment released a small game, you might have heard of it, it's called World of Warcraft.
Do me a favor, shut the fuck up.
Which is basically a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG, based on the Warcraft franchise on November 23, 2004 in North America and on February 11, 2005 in Europe. By December 2004, the game was the fastest-selling PC game in the entire United States, and by March 2005 had reached 1.5 million subscribers worldwide. World of Warcraft was considered a global phenomenon, having reached over 9 million subscribers and exceeded $1 billion in revenue since its release. In April 2008, World of Warcraft was estimated to hold 62% of the entire MMORPG subscription market. By July 2008, Vivendi Games, who owned Blizzard Entertainment, dissolved, leaving Blizzard to merge with Activision, effectively forming what we know today as Activision Blizzard. Following this merger, Blizzard went on to add its already successful collection of games by developing and launching Hearthstone, a free-to-play card game, and Overwatch, which was the highest-selling game on PC for 2016. And in celebration of the company's 30th anniversary, Blizzard Entertainment released a compilation called Blizzard Arcade Collection in February 2021. The collection includes their 3 classic video games, The Last Vikings, Rock'n'Roll Racing, and Blackthrone, each of which contained additional upgrades and numerous modern features. But despite the success of their games, some say that the decrease in Blizzard's popularity started in 2016, with Blizzard issuing a cease and desist for a fan-made WoW server, Nostralius, effectively leaving over 800,000 players with nowhere else to go. You think they would have moved on to Blizzard's WoW servers, but that didn't happen. From there on, it seemed that the company started making money over actually listening to its fans, which, you can imagine, led to more disappointments and even rage at times. When Blizzard released Overwatch, it had managed to attract some gamers back to the company, but even that success was short-lived. Blizzard's introduction of a new character called Bridget is what many of you considered to be the moment Overwatch died. The character was just too overtuned, and a lot of people ended up quitting the game for good. Later on, during BlizzCon 2018, Blizzard revealed Diablo Immortal. After waiting for years for Diablo 4, we all got excited. We're happy about a brand new Diablo game, until we found out that it was going to be a mobile game. The game's presentation during BlizzCon was actually booed numerous times. Just like with other decisions Blizzard has made, the idea of making Diablo a mobile game was motivated by nothing more than money. Michael Chu, lead writer on many of Blizzard's franchises including Diablo, Warcraft, and Overwatch, announced that he was leaving the company after 20 years in March of 2020. In June 2020, one of the biggest faces on the World of Warcraft development team, Alex Afraziabi, and I apologize if I just butchered that name, suddenly departed from Blizzard. He had served as creative director for a number of years and reportedly led development on Titan, Blizzard's cancelled MMO. Also in 2020, the new Warcraft 3 Reforged was announced, and everybody had seen this as a chance for Blizzard to redeem themselves. Still, the game was met with more frustrations and uproar from fans as several of the game's promised features had been cut out and a lot of mechanics from the 2002 version had been removed. Warcraft 3 was so bad it was actually rated the lowest review game ever on Metacritic. Not a world record any game company would like to break, that's for damn sure. Activision Blizzard was the subject of a lawsuit from the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing in July 2021, asserting that, for several years, the management within Blizzard as well as Activision promoted a, quote, frat boy atmosphere that allowed and encouraged sexual misconduct towards female employees and discrimination in hiring practices. In the wake of these events, Brack, one of the few individuals directly named in the suit, announced that he was leaving Blizzard to, quote, pursue new opportunities, and will be replaced by co-leads Jen O'Neill, the lead of Vicarious Visions and the first woman in a leadership role for the company, and Mike Ybarra, a Blizzard executive vice president. But O'Neill announced in November 2021 that she will be leaving the company by the end of 2021, leaving Ybarra as the sole leader of Blizzard. As a result of the California lawsuit and of delays and release issues with their more recent games, Activision's Blizzard stock faced severe pressure. Subsequently, Microsoft seized the opportunity to become one of the largest video game companies in the world and announcing its intent to acquire Activision Blizzard and its subsidiaries for a whopping $68.7 billion in January of 2022. That is so close to 69. Nowadays, it's clear that Blizzard has lost the respect and admiration of many gamers, but also their own employees. And not just that, in the pursuit of money that they have actually ended up losing more of. With Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, it is hard to say what the future holds, but it's safe to say we are all hoping for improvements. Although, to be honest, the bar is pretty low. I think it's only up from here. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comment section below what you think the future holds for Blizzard. And also, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every single time we post a new video. Or we will patch you.